Hello children, welcome to VKSS Physics Clinic, and in this class, in fact, you are going to discuss very important topics like displacement of a particle in simple harmonic motion, its velocity and acceleration. There are mathematical calculations involved, so make sure you go through the details, and basically you have to have an idea about the sine and cosine functions. Okay. If I will just brief you about this. Suppose I want to do the graph of a sine function y is equal to a sin theta, okay. Then the graph comes something like this. You must be aware, you must have done in trigonometry. This is the sine curve, this is theta and this is y, this is plus a and this is minus a, okay. By substituting values you can see, if theta is 0, then sin 0 is 0, so 0. Theta is 90 degrees and 90 is what? 1. So we have plus a. Theta is 180, sin 180 is how much? 0. So y becomes 0, out here it is 0. 270, sin 270 is minus 1. So it becomes minus a. So here is minus a. And this is in fact I will write and show it to you. Theta and sin theta, E sin theta value. Theta is 0, then 0. 90 degree means how much? A, because sin theta is how much? 1. And if I put 180 degree, sin 180 0 is 0. 270, sin 270 is how much? Minus 1. So minus a. And 360 degree, sin 360 is 0, then how much? 0. So a complete revolution means moving from 0 to 360 degree. And bear in mind that 90 degree rotation, I will not be saying many times, so you should understand this. If I want to do time, theta 0 then 0, 90 degree rotation means 1/4 of time period, 180 means half the time period, 3/4 of time period is 270, and 360 means complete time period. So this data you have to remember, and this will be a sine graph. I will be using it very often. If I write the value of angles, then this is 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, and this is 360. You can plot against time also, t by 4, t by 2, 3t by 4 and t. This is important. Now when you are plotting a cosine function like x is equal to a cos theta, clear? Suppose I am denoting the x coordinate on the y axis here and theta on the which axis? X axis. So bear in mind that if I am writing values for, let us see here, a cos theta. When theta is 0, cos 0 is how much? 1. So it becomes plus a. Remember this, when theta is 90, cos 90 is 0, so 0. 270 is minus 1, so minus a. 180 is minus 1, so minus a. 270 is 0 and 360 is plus a, because cos 360 is equal to a. So when you are plotting cosine, then the graph will come like this. This is 90 degree, this is 180 degree, 270 degree, 360 degree. This is plus a and this is minus a. So let us plot it. When theta is 0, then cosine is how much? Plus a. It is here. 90 then 0, 180 then minus 1, so minus a. 270 is 0, 360 then plus, and this will go on like this. So you must have idea about the sine function plotting and cos function plotting. Clear? Because if they ask you to show it on the graph, you should be able to do so. Now children, once you have understood this, we will try to see what is displacement of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Okay? Displacement of a particle in simple harmonic motion. What is displacement? Displacement in SHM, simple harmonic motion. We already did in the previous video that when a particle moves along circular path, clear? Suppose the initial phase is phi, time equals to 0, the particle is here at p0. and a given time t the particle is here. This angle is phi and this angle is omega t. So the total angle from the baseline here is x axis and this is y axis will be omega t plus phi. And you have already done, whenever a particle moves along a circular path, then foot of its perpendicular oscillates simple harmonically along the diameter, right? So we can calculate displacement along x axis as well as displacement along y axis. Okay, I draw a perpendicular here. Suppose this perpendicular is PM and this perpendicular is PN. So displacement along x axis, the instantaneous displacement is how much of x, and displacement along y axis is y. So I can calculate both the values. I can calculate the value of x as well as the value of y. If I take x, then x by OP will be equal to cos omega t plus phi. Then x will be how much here? OP cos omega t plus phi. And children, how much is OP? This distance OP will be same as this distance or as this distance. So OP will be the what? OP will be the amplitude. Okay. And what is the amplitude? The maximum displacement from mean position is called amplitude. We can understand it here also. Suppose O is the center and the particle starts executing simple harmonic motion. The particle goes from here up to A, comes back and again comes back to O. So this is point A and this is point, suppose this is point what? M and this is point N. So this will be the value of amplitude and this will also be the value of amplitude. The maximum displacement that a particle goes on either side during its simple harmonic motion is called amplitude. So this is amplitude and this is amplitude. The particle goes from here like this up to M, comes back, goes up to N and again returns, passes through N. So one cycle, maximum displacement is this or this. So that is OP, and OP is what? Amplitude. So OP is amplitude of the particle. Amplitude is A. So equation of displacement along x axis is x is equal to A cos omega t plus phi. Now we can simultaneously calculate displacement along y axis also. And how will you do this? For y axis displacement, children, y by OP will be equal to sine of omega t plus phi. So y will be OP sine omega t plus phi, and OP is how much? Amplitude, that is A. So y is equal to A sine omega t plus phi. Actually this term phi, phase, as you already know, phase actually denotes the state of motion of a particle, and this is expressed in terms of the angular displacement of the particle, right? Phase. And the phase of the particle at time t is equal to 0, this phase phi is called initial phase. We also call it phi is what? Initial phase. Is also called angle of epoch. At time t is equal to 0, what is the angular displacement of the particle? That's called initial phase, or we also call it angle of epoch. So we ensure the displacements along x-axis or along y-axis both. Clear? Now here we have got term plus phi, but the phase could be negative also. Let's see how it could be negative. And let's see here. Suppose there is a circle along which the particle is moving, and instead of starting from this point, the particle starts from point P0 out here. At time t is equal to 0, the particle is here at P0, this angle is phi. And then in time t, the particle is here at point P. So this whole angle will be how much here? Omega t. But we will be measuring angle from positive direction of x axis. So we will be taking actually which angle? We will be taking this angle. And how much will be this angle? omega t minus phi. So if the particle is having what? A negative phase, then you can modify the equations. X is equal to a cos omega t minus phi, and now will be a sin omega t minus phi. So depending upon the position of the initial phase, we may have a cos omega t plus phi or a cos omega t minus phi. Similarly, the y-axis displacement a sin omega t plus phi or a sin omega t minus phi. Now we have a third special case. If phi is equal to 0, initial phase is 0. Now what does it mean? It means that the particle here actually is starting from this point. This is P0 and this is P, this is omega t. So here phi will be how much here? 0. So if phi is equal to 0, then the displacement becomes x is equal to a cos omega t, y is equal to a sin omega t. So this you can keep in mind as well. Clear? So children, we saw displacement of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Once you understood this, then we'll be, since the particle is having displacement, it must be having a velocity also. So the next topic of study will be velocity in simple harmonic motion. Okay. Alright children, we will be discussing velocity of a particle in simple harmonic motion. Velocity in simple harmonic motion. Children, since the particle is moving simultaneously along x and y axis, means the particle having displacement along x axis as well as along y axis, so it has to have velocity along both the axes. Clear? So velocity of the particle v will be equal to dy dt. This velocity will be along which axis? Y axis. Similarly, you can calculate velocity along x axis vx also. So v will be equal to a derivative of sin omega t plus phi with respect to t. So v will be how much here? A omega cos omega t plus phi. So children, we found that the velocity will be actually what? A cosine function, right? Here, do not forget that we have y is equal to a sin omega t plus phi with the displacement along y axis. Now this result which we are getting in equation 2 can also be represented in terms of displacement from the mean position. Clear? When I am saying y, then what is y actually? Y is like this. Suppose this is y axis, this is the center, the particle is oscillating simple harmonically, maximum displacement is plus a and minus a is the minimum displacement, right? So y is somewhere between O and, suppose this is P and this is Q, these extreme points, this is amplitude and this is amplitude. So y is somewhere between what? O and P or O and Q. Clear? Suppose this is y, for example. Suppose I am doing x axis, oscillations along x axis. So for x axis this is O, this could be P and this could be Q. So x could be somewhere here, either on the x axis positive or x axis negative on the left. Clear? So x and y actually variable terms, maximum value they can take is equal to the amplitude, okay, otherwise they will be less, minimum will be 0. So we will try to eliminate, we will try to express velocity in terms of displacement. So from equation 1, sin omega t plus phi is equal to how much here? Y by A. Clear? So if I use this value, then will be E omega root over cos theta is what? 1 minus sin square theta, sin square omega t plus phi, and sin omega t plus phi is how much? Y by A. So V becomes E omega root over 1 minus y square by A square. Clear? If you simplify, then A and A will cancel out. V will be equal to E omega root over a square minus y square by a and a will cancel out. So v becomes omega root over a square minus y square, and this should be remembered by you. This is the velocity, clear? And then there will be two special cases. Similarly, suppose I am doing velocity along x axis. Similarly, for x axis, again v will be root over omega root over a square minus x square. So, if it is moving along y axis, then velocity will be omega root over a square minus y square. Along x axis, omega root over a square minus x square. Clear? So, we will study something very interesting out here. Suppose a particle is moving along x axis, O is the mean position and P and Q are the extreme positions. Clear? Now, we will see when the particle is moving simple harmonically, at which point the velocity is maximum. Number one, at mean position. At mean position. When the particle is at mean position, then how much will be x out here? X will be 0. If I put x is equal to 0 here, then v becomes omega root over a square minus 0. So, v will be a into omega. So, remember that in simple harmonic oscillation, the velocity of particle is maximum at the mean position at O. So, v max will be how much? A into omega. This is the first equation. Now, what will be the velocity at the extremity? So, at extremity children, x will be equal to a. At extremity, x will be equal to how much? A. And if I put here x is equal to a, then a square minus a square will be how much? 0. So, velocity will be minimum at extremity and how much will be that? 0. So, you have to know that whenever a particle is oscillating simple harmonically, then its velocity is maximum at the center and minimum at the extremities. Clear? So, even should how will we be calculating velocities in simple harmonic motion? We can see the plots also, the graphs of displacement and velocity. Let us see. Now, children will be seeing acceleration of a particle in simple harmonic motion. What will be acceleration of the particle? Acceleration of a particle in simple harmonic motion. We found that velocity is a omega cos omega t plus phi omega t plus phi, and displacement is a sin omega t plus phi. Equation 1, equation 2. Now, acceleration is a is equal to how much? dv dt. We have a omega into derivative of cos omega t plus phi with respect to t, and derivative of cos omega t plus phi is how much? Minus sin omega t plus phi. So, acceleration becomes a omega into minus omega sin omega t plus phi. So, it becomes a is equal to minus omega square a sin omega t plus phi. So, this is the acceleration, children, of the particle. Now, we will be having a closer look at this equation. So, we have but a sin omega t plus phi is equal to y, yes, displacement out here. So, we can write a is equal to minus omega square y. Now, this is a very important expression. A equals to minus omega square into y. So, this shows that acceleration is directly proportional to displacement, but opposite in direction. Now, this is for motion along y axis. If a particle moving along x axis, so we will be replacing y with x. So I'll say for x-axis, if a particle is displacing along x-axis, then A will be minus omega square x. A is directly equal to minus x. So every time I have to prove that the motion is simple harmonic motion, I'll prove that A is directly proportional to y or A is directly proportional to minus x. Well, what the significance of negative sign? Negative sign means that the particle is going to the right, acceleration is acting towards what? Left. That's called restoring tendency. I discussed in the previous video. Restoring force is required, and if the particle is displacing to the left, then acceleration is acting towards what? Right. So, at the mean position, acceleration will be how much here? 0. And at the extremity, acceleration is what? Maximum. But in opposite direction. In opposite direction. Like see, take the case of simple pendulum. This is how the simple pendulum is moving. Okay. So this is mean position. Here velocity is what? Maximum. Acceleration is how much here? 0. At the extreme position out here, velocity is 0, acceleration is minus omega square E, opposite direction. Similarly here, velocity is 0 and acceleration is minus omega square into E. So the significance of negative sign is that acceleration is acting opposite to the what? Opposite to the displacement. Now, if I take magnitude of acceleration I can write what? Omega square x. Very important. Magnitude of acceleration is equal to omega square x. So what is omega square? Omega square can be written as mod of x by E. So what is omega? Omega will be equal to root over mod of acceleration by x. So therefore what is time period? We can derive a very interesting time period. T is equal to 2 pi by omega, or T is equal to 2 pi. This result will be inverted, x by modulus of A. So we derived a beautiful way for calculating what is time period. Similarly, I can derive, so you can also write T is equal to 2 pi root over x is what? Displacement. E is what? Acceleration. Time period is 2 pi root over displacement by acceleration. Okay, this expression can be used by us. And frequency nu will be 1 by time period, nu will be 1 by 2 pi root over A by x. So we can calculate frequency as well as time period by using these equations. T is equal to 2 pi root over x by A. Frequency is 1 by 2 pi root over A by x, because frequency is reciprocal of time period. Okay. So children, once you understood all these aspects of simple harmonic motion, we will be discussing a few cases in simple harmonic motion, like oscillations of a spring, then simple pendulum, then a piston fitted to a cylinder. Okay, all these cases, but every time I will be discussing the motion, please make sure that you are able to identify what is the restoring force, and then you are able to show that acceleration is directly proportional to displacement and opposite in direction. This is very important. Once you know, then you can calculate how much is omega. Once you know omega, then time period is 2 pi by omega, or you can directly use this formula. Okay. So let's see now. Children, let's see one interesting problem which has come in JEE also and many other entrance examinations. It relates velocity with what? Displacement. Now, there is a very easy problem, children. A particle undergoing simple harmonic motion has velocities v1 and v2 when its displacement from in positions are x1 and x2 respectively. What is its time period? It's a really very easy question. We know, let's start. We know already children, v is equal to omega root over a square minus x square. Yes, this is the velocity equation when the displacement of mean position is x. If I square both sides, what do we get? V square is equal to omega square into a square minus x square. Now we will modify this. How will you modify, children? When x is equal to x1, then v is equal to v1. If I put it here, then v1 square is equal to, we have omega square into a square minus x1 square. Similarly, I will modify further. When x is equal to x2, then v is equal to v2. If I put this here, then v2 square will be omega square into a square minus x2 square. Alright? Very easy. When x is equal to x1, then v is equal to v1. When x is equal to x2, then v is equal to v2. Now, we'll be, actually what we don't need is a square. So, we'll be subtracting equation 2 from equation 1. Using equation 1 minus equation 2. So, v1 square minus v2 square will be how much, children? Omega square into a square minus x1 square minus a square minus x2 square. If you open, children, a square will what? Cancel out. Then you have v1 square minus v2 square is equal to omega square into x2 square minus x1 square. So, you can say here omega square will be equal to v1 square minus v2 square divided by x2 square minus x1 square. So, children, once we got how much is omega, then you can take square root. Omega will be root over v1 square minus v2 square divided by x2 square minus x1 square. So, we calculate how much calculated how much is the angular velocity omega, and once you know omega, therefore time period t is equal to, we have 2 pi by omega, 2 pi divided by v1 square minus v2 square divided by x2 square minus x1 square. So, what is time period? 2 pi root over x2 square minus x1 square divided by v1 square minus v2 square. So, this is the time period, and if you want to calculate frequency, then frequency also you can calculate. Frequency is 1 by time period. So, frequency will be 1 by 2 pi root over v1 square minus v2 square divided by x2 square minus x1 square. So, we calculated time period as well as what is the frequency of the oscillation when the particle is fulfilling these conditions. Okay. Now, once we understood this, children, then we will be discussing some more standard cases, and make sure you understand these cases, and in each case it is important for us to identify what is the restoring force. Once you deflect, when you disturb a body from its mean position, then what will be the restoring force. So, we will be working on this. Now, children, we will be discussing simple harmonic oscillations of a spring mass system. Okay, this is case 1. Case 1, oscillation of spring mass system. In the simplest case, we will have a spring to which a mass is attached, and the mass is kept on a frictionless surface. This is the situation. Here you have a spring, and children, the spring is attached to a mass. The mass is M. Clear? And the mass is kept on a frictionless surface, and we'll assume the spring constant is K. Now, children, I'll displace this mass to the right by a distance x. So, if I displace this mass to the right by a distance x, now the mass comes here. By what distance it comes? X. We are taking the distance from the center of the mass, geometrical center. So, obviously you can see the spring will be what? Elongated. The spring will be elongated. And what will be elongation? X. So, when elongation will be X, children, there will be restoring force. The restoring force will be Kx, Hooke's law, but this will be acting in which direction? Opposite direction. If I am deflecting it to the right, then the restoring force will be on the left. So, what you will see is that this mass, the moment I push it here, I stretch the spring and bring it up to here and I release, then I will see the mass will be oscillating simple harmonically. Like it has gone to the right through distance x. Now, here again will come to the left by a distance x. The distance will be again here what? X. And when you come this side, the same spring will be compressed. Clear? The mass is m. So, when I elongate it to the right, then what is the restoring force, children? Restoring force F will be equal to minus kx. Minus kx, why? Because this force is restoring force is opposite to the displacement. Displacement is the right and the force is on the left. So, you can see here force is directly equal to minus x, hence motion is what? SHM. Now, this force is going to produce an acceleration in the mass. So, acceleration will be A will be F by m. So, minus k by m into x. So, here acceleration is also directly equal to minus x, hence motion is simple harmonic motion. But we know that acceleration is minus omega square into x. So, every time we are working with problems on simple harmonic motion, we will calculate what is acceleration and then we will be writing acceleration is equal to minus omega square into x, which you already proved. Now, so if I compare children, then omega square will be how much here? K by m. Now, this is a very important equation and you should remember this. Omega square is equal to k by m and omega will be how much here? Omega is equal to root over k by m. So, this is an important equation. Omega is equal to k by m. This is also important here. K is equal to m omega square also you can write. K, which is spring constant, also called spring factor. Therefore, time period T will be 2 pi by omega, and if I put value of omega, then T becomes 2 pi root over m by k. So, we come across a very simple equation for time period of a point mass, a mass attached to spring 2 pi root over m by k, where m is what? M is mass, k is spring constant, right? Now, this mass is also called inertia factor and k is called spring factor. So, I can also write T is equal to 2 pi root over inertia factor divided by spring factor. And if I have to calculate frequency, children, then frequency nu is 1 by time period, then nu will be 1 by 2 pi root over k by m. So, time period is this and frequency is this. So, we saw oscillations of a simple point mass or a simple mass kept on a frictionless surface attached to a spring. But you may have a situation in which you may have two springs connected or a multiple set of springs what? Connected. So, here you should remember some special cases if you are dealing with spring. Now, children, once you finished a simple spring, you may come across a situation where you have multiple springs also. Okay, multiple springs. Like here we have say this problem. We have two springs, for example, attached to a mass. Spring constants are K1 and K2. Or you can have a situation like this. Your point mass here. This is one spring constant K1, and the spring having spring constant K2. Clear? Or you may have a situation like this, in which you have two springs, or you can have more than two springs also connected to mass M. Mass M, spring constants are K1 and K2. In all these cases, the combination of springs is what? Parallel combination. So effective spring constant will be effective spring constant K will be equal to K1 plus K2. So in parallel combination, here I will write in parallel combination of springs. In parallel combination of springs, these all are parallel combinations. K will be equal to K1 plus K2. If I put 3 springs, then K1 plus K2 plus K3. Clear? So if I am solving this problem, then time period will be how much here? 2 pi root over how much? How much? M by K. Yes, so T will be 2 pi root over M by K1 plus K2. But we can have a situation where the springs are connected through a series combination. So if I have a case of series combination, it will be something like this, and here I have a mass M. This is K1 and this is K2, right? So in this case, if I am doing, then spring constant K is given by 1 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2. Clear? So series combination of springs will be like parallel combination of resistances, and parallel combination of springs will be like what? Series combination of resistances. So from here I can calculate K, and what will be K, children? K1 K2 divided by K1 plus K2. Clear? So I can calculate here what will be time period. Time period will be 2 pi root over M by K. So 2 pi M K will be K1 K2 divided by K1 plus K2. Okay. So this is the time period. Clear? So if you have problem on springs, you should be able to solve it now. If it is a multiple combination of springs, I can put like this also. I can put one spring like this. I can put one spring like this, connect them here, and then I can connect another spring here, and then I can put the point mass. This is K1, K2, and this is K3. So this will be in what? Parallel, K1 plus K2. So I can think like this, that this spring constant is single spring having constant K1 plus K2, and this will be K3, and then here we have a point mass M. So we can calculate this by using this formula, and then I can use T is equal to 2 pi root over M by K. However, it is frequency, then 1 by 2 pi root over K by M. Okay. So we saw the oscillations of a mass attached to a spring in various cases, single spring system and also multiple spring system, where combinations could be series as well as what? Parallel. Okay. Now children, we will be seeing oscillations of a simple pendulum. Okay. How a simple pendulum oscillates and what is its time period. Okay. Let us see this. Now children, we will be seeing what is a simple pendulum. Simple pendulum we have a simple pendulum consists of a bob, which is a solid sphere or the hollow sphere as well, but it's a compact point mass which is a solid suspended with the help of a string. As of now, we'll be assuming the string is having no mass. It's a massless string, and also it is not extensible, means it is inextensible. So a simple pendulum consists of a point mass like a sphere attached to a massless inextensible string, right, which is suspended from a convenient point, right. Now if I displace the mass slightly from its mean position and release, then it starts oscillating simple harmonically. If I displace it to the right, so it will go to the right, it will go to the extreme position, and again it will come back, pass the mean position, go the same distance on the other side. Here angular displacement on either side will consider as what? Theta. Suppose this is point P and this is point what? Q. So these are extreme positions. If these are extreme positions, this will be amplitude and this will be what? Amplitude. For the time being, we will assume that the length of the string is L and the instantaneous displacement from the center is x. And this theta is a small angle. This angle is in what? Radians. So we will calculate what will be the time period of oscillation and on what factors will the time period depend. Okay, let's say this. Let's see how many forces are acting. This is how the pendulum is moving. This is the mean position, and these are extreme positions. The pendulum is here. In position at point P, how many forces are acting? This variable angle is theta. Its weight mg is acting downwards. Tension is acting along string which is in the upward direction. If this angle is theta, then how much is this, children? This angle is also theta. So this force is what? mg cos theta, and this force is what? mg sin theta. So when you look at this diagram, children, you can clearly see that T is getting cancelled by what? mg cos theta, because there are no oscillations along the string, right? So T and mg cos theta are cancelling out. Are you understanding? Okay, T and mg cos theta are cancelling out each other. So the net force which is acting on the mass which is trying to restore is what? mg sin theta, because I am displacing like this away from the center, away from the mean position, but mg sin theta is trying to bring it towards the mean position. Mean position is here, so mg sin theta is acting as a what? Restoring force. So you can see from the given diagram, T is equal to mg cos theta, they are cancelling out each other. Therefore, net restoring force F will be, children, minus mg sin theta. Clear? Now, for small angles, for small theta, you know that sin theta is nearly equal to theta. Then F becomes how much here? Minus mg into theta. Now if I use trigonometry, but theta will be equal to how much? X by L, where x is this displacement and L is the length of the string. Yes. So angle in radian is equal to arc divided by radius. Yes. So we get F is equal to minus mg into x by L. So you got how much the restoring force, and once you know the restoring force, you can calculate what? Acceleration also. Therefore, acceleration of the particle A is equal to F by m minus m will cancel out, g by L into x. Clear? This is equation 2. So acceleration is directly proportional to minus x. Hence, motion is what? Simple harmonic motion. And in simple harmonic motion, what do we do, children? We know A is equal to minus omega square x. So if I compare equation 2 and equation 3, then omega square comes to be how much? G by L. So how much is omega? Root over G by L. So we got how much is omega. And once I know omega, then how much is time period, children? Time period T is equal to 2 pi over omega, 2 pi over into root over L by G. So we got here time period 2 pi root over L by G. So we got a very interesting expression for the time period of the simple pendulum, and you find here very interesting aspects. The time period is not depending upon the value of theta, but this is possible only when theta is small, right? It's called law of isochronism, that time period is independent of the angular displacement, law of isochronism, right? Time period is also independent of the mass of the bob. So they can ask a question, what will happen if a solid bob is replaced by what? A spherical bob. In fact, there will be no change in the time period, because time period is not depending upon mass. Suppose they ask you a question, there is a boy, he is swinging in his swing. What will happen to the time period if another boy comes and sits on it? Then what will you say? There will be no effect, because the time period is not depending upon mass. But this will hold true only when theta is small, right? So time period is independent of the angular displacement, also of the linear displacement. It does not depend upon mass of the bob used in the simple pendulum. Clear? So these are oscillations of a simple pendulum. Now once you have done this, they will be seeing oscillations of a piston. Okay, oscillation of piston will be seeing. All right, children. Now we will be seeing piston. We will be seeing oscillations of piston. I hope you are understanding the discussion we are having. These are very crucial discussions. You should enjoy the topics, and that will make it simple. Here we have, children, a cylinder. To the cylinder we have fitted a piston. This is a piston. Now this piston has mass m. The piston has a mass m. The cylinder and the piston have no friction. Clear? So a piston having mass m, cross section area A is attached to a frictionless cylinder, right? Pressure is P and the initial volume is V. Temperature is remaining constant. Temperature is what? Constant. Now suppose I compress the piston and release it. I compress the piston. So the piston comes here. If piston comes here, children, then obviously what will happen? Volume of the gas will what? Decrease. As you compress, then volume of the gas will what? Decrease in the piston, in the cylinder, and the pressure will increase. The pressure will become what? P plus delta P, and again here temperature remains constant. So the question is, we have to show that if the piston is slightly what? Pushed downwards and released, then it is oscillating simple harmonically, and then we have to calculate what will be time period of oscillation. Clear? We know initial pressure and volume. Clear? We also know mass of the piston is m and cross section area is what? A. Here I will be writing, let mass of the piston is equal to m and cross section area, CS area, is equal to A. Let the cylinder, let the piston is compressed by distance x. Clear? So what will be the change in volume? Delta V will be A into delta x, which will be A into x. Clear? I hope you understood the data. Mass of the piston is m, cross section area is what? A, and the piston is being compressed by what distance? X. Now temperature is remaining constant, so we can use Boyle's law. Using Boyle's law, children, what will we get? P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, right? So P1 is P, V1 is V, P plus delta P, V minus delta P. So PV is equal to how much you have? PV minus P delta V plus delta P into V minus delta P into delta V. Children, this term delta P into delta V is very small and we can ignore. So we will ignore delta P into delta V. Ignore this and we cancel out this. So 0 is equal to how much you get? Minus P delta V plus delta P into V. Clear? So P into delta V is equal to delta P into V, right? And how much is delta P, children? A into x. P A into x is equal to delta P into V. So what is delta P? Increase in pressure will be PAX by V. So this is the extra pressure which you have what? Applied. So therefore restoring force will be F is equal to minus delta P into A. Why minus? Because it has a restoring tendency. If the piston is going down, it will be acting where? In the upward direction. Clear? So minus PAX by V into A. So F is equal to how much? Minus PA square by V into X. So this is the restoring force which is acting. Now this force is directly, see PA square and V, these are constants. So force is directly equal to minus X, hence the motion is simple harmonic motion. Yes? So once you got this, therefore acceleration A will be force by mass. If I divide by mass, then acceleration A will be equal to minus P into A square M into V into X. Clear? So this is going to be question 2. So A is directly equal to minus X, hence it is simple harmonic motion. But children, in simple harmonic motion, A is how much here? Minus omega square X. But A is equal to minus omega square into X. This is equation 3. And if I compare these two, I can calculate how much is omega square. Omega square is PA square by M into V. So by comparing, omega will become root over, take square root of this, PA square upon mass into initial volume. And once you got how much is omega, then time period is very easy. Time period is 2 pi by omega, 2 pi root over M into B by P into A square. Yes? A square comes out. So finally time period will be 2 pi by A root over M into V by P. So this is time period. And every time I am leaving the expression time period, because if you want to calculate frequency, you can take the reciprocal of the time period. So children, simple harmonic oscillations is a very extensive topic and there are so many problems in it that can be explored. So in this video, we will be discussing only this much. In the next video, we will be discussing many more critical points on simple harmonic motion and the technical aspects of all these topics. Okay? Thank you.